Okay, so this video is going to explain Ash Wednesday. A long time ago in Jesus' day, when somebody was grieving, they would dump a bunch of ashes on their head and literally walk around town like that. And it was supposed to symbolize to everybody else that, like, I'm not in a good place right now, so just leave me alone. Obviously, today, people aren't going to walk around with a bunch of ashes on their head. So priests and pastors would just put ashes on their finger and put a cross on your forehead. I looked up on Google, and some people were just curious, like, how long do I leave it and can I wash it off? And so it was funny because the answer was the same answer that Jesus gives multiple times when he's talking about fasting in the Bible, which we also will be doing. He says, when you're doing something that's for a spiritual gain with him, it should be private between you and the Lord. So obviously, us in the group, we know that we're all fasting together, but you're not supposed to walk around like so. The next 40 days, if somebody offers you something and you can't have it, say, cake or something, and we're not supposed to be having any snacks, instead of, oh, I can't, I'm fasting, you just find another way to politely say no without telling people your business. What you do spiritually shouldn't be used to get sympathy or for any sort of, public display. And so they were saying when you put the ashes on your forehead that if you are going to just go home and be alone, yes, you can leave it. But if you're going to go out in public, same concept. Take it off. Don't use it as a way to make a public display out of it. So what the ashes mean, one, it was like, if you're mourning, grieving the fact that you possibly just committed a sin or something and now you're feeling really bad about it. It says human frailty, and what was my other one? Oh, mortality. So what we're doing is we're going to basically use the same exact way of, okay, so earlier in the Bible, God says, from dust I created you, and dust you will return. So we're using Ash Wednesday is like the same way of kind of basically saying that the ashes are like the representation that you were once ashes and you will go back to that. I get it. You're saying, well, yeah, but we were born in my mom's body. But Adam, when Adam started humanity, he was taken from dust of the ground. So that's kind of like, that's what that means, right? That you were taken from dust. You started as dust. And when you die, your body will end up right back as dust. And so those ashes are supposed to remind you of human mortality and the fact that you are not superior. You are not, don't latch on to all kinds of belongings in the world because you can't take them with you. And ultimately, no matter what supplements you take, no matter what, crap you do to your cells, ultimately, you are going to die. And so that's the representation. So Ash Wednesday, they just call it that as a beginning, right? Because we are going to be mourning our sins and mourning our old way of life and preparing ourselves spiritually. So essentially, if you were to get ashes on your forehead, it just reminds you that you're also in this state of mourning and rebirth, and that all your pride goes away, because ultimately you started as nothing. You're going to end as nothing. So you don't have to go get ashes, but that's just why. So if you're wondering why it's called Ash Wednesday, there you go.